First up, 590A1 Retrograde. So it's a shotgun. The problem with this is that you can't buy a quality shotgun. So that's going to be part of the review of the 590A1 Retrograde. So what I was essentially looking for was a shotgun with ghost rings, a heat shield, and quality wood furniture that is reliable. And, if you're a Winchester fan, it's not really the same. The new Winchesters are made in Japan, Turkey, depending on which one you get. Remington 870s used to be the go-to shotgun, not so much anymore. So, yeah, the 590A1, unless you want to get like a cheap Turkish Remington clone, but I feel like the 590A1 offers you everything you need. You don't have to get the retrograde. I just chose the retrograde because I like wood furniture. But the A1, you can look this up. It signifies the military standards. It uses all metal parts. In my opinion, the 590, specifically the 590A1, now it's not a cheap shotgun. I think retail is like $1,000 or something like that. I found it locally for about $850. So, secondly, a 300 Blackout Ruger American. So, the goal with that was that I wanted a suppressed hunting rifle. Really, you can suppress any hunting rifle, right? But the idea was to find ammo locally, Academy, whatever, that was subsonic. So 300 Blackout accomplishes that, and you put it in a bolt action with a suppressor, super quiet. I think you can't go wrong with a Ruger American. It seems like every Ruger American I've ever seen anybody do a review on shoots sub 1 MOA, which is amazing. You can get this for under $600. So it used to be $450, but inflation. Number 8 is a Ruger Scout in 308. It's an expensive rifle. It's what's cool about the Ruger Scout is you're getting basically old school and new school combined. So you're getting a Mauser action from Ruger in a Scout package, which basically means you get iron sights, you get a detachable box mag, and in the newer versions they have stainless steel barrels and they're threaded. So I love Mausers, I love Mauser actions, and I think it's super cool that Ruger puts this package together, and it's not cheap. So I was fortunate, I won an auction on Gunbroker. I think I paid before tax and shipping $1,060 for the Lipsy's walnut stock. The Ruger Scout, I don't see how you can go wrong with that. Number 7 is a PSA dagger. Obviously, anything that's high capacity, or I should say normal capacity, they're going to try to limit, they're going to try to possibly restrict. It doesn't matter what state you're in. And then number 6 is basically any AR-15, right? With the exception of a polymer AR-15. I think 1 is none, 2 is 1. It's a famous saying. And so that if you can get really a Palmetto or a Anderson or a Bear Creek, it doesn't matter. Just have one, throw it in the safe, throw it in the attic, whatever. Bury it in the backyard for a rainy day. Number 5, I would say this is just a personal favorite for mine, but is a Ruger Blackhawk. So I recently learned what the difference is between the Ruger Vaquero and the Ruger Blackhawk, and to me it's kind of silly, but I get it. Ruger Vaquero is actually a newer model, but it's kind of like old school. It doesn't use rear sights. The Blackhawk has adjustable rear sights, and it comes in a convertible version. So if you know a little bit about me, I like to consolidate calibers. I don't like to have, 10 different pistol calibers or 10 different rifle calibers. If I can get the same guns that shoot the same bullet and take the same mag, it makes me happy. So what's cool about the Ruger Blackhawk is I want an old school single action Colt Peacemaker clone. But I can't justify that purpose because I don't normally shoot 357. But the Ruger Blackhawk comes with an extra cylinder, the convertible model. I know you think convertible, you think about cars, but no, it's basically they comes with an extra cylinder that shoots 9mm. So if you shoot 45 ACP, they make a Ruger Blackhawk convertible that shoots, I think, 45 Colt, long Colt, and 45 ACP. Double checking on that. So I think it's kind of cool that you can have basically the option to shoot 9mm out of a revolver that is single action, and that kind of justifies the purpose for me in that I have not bought that yet. So I'm on the lookout for those. They're on Gunbroker. And I really like the stainless with the wood grips. Number 4 is a Ruger Mark IV. I personally like the stainless steel version. I don't have that version with the threaded barrel. I think that is the ultimate cool assassin gun, whatever you want to call it. It's just a fun gun to target practice with. Number 3, a 30-30 lever gun. Specifically, I like Henry's, but I've got my eye on the Marlins, the Ruger made Marlin with a 30-30 with a threaded barrel. I just think it's cool. That's pretty much my reasoning on that. I don't know if you need another reason. I just think it's a cool gun. Stainless steel is something that I'm just a big fan of. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with a lever gun. It's just, I grew up shooting Red Ryders. My dad would take me out to my grandma's backyard. We'd shoot Coke cans, and he'd make it seem like it was a real gun, and it was a real gun. So I kind of learned gun safety with a Red Ryder BB gun at the age of like 7 or 8 years old. So I've always had a special place in my heart for lever guns. Number 2, now these last two are kind of in order, but I would say, like, if you can get a Mark 12 or an SPR, special purpose or general purpose rifle, in 5.56, 18-inch barrel, suppressed, that's a kind of a do-all gun. It doesn't do anything particularly excellent, but it does a lot of things well. You can research ballistics and loadings and all that stuff. But if you already have a bunch of ARs, it kind of just makes sense to get one that's like a designated marksman. Whether you need it for hunting or self-defense, I just think it's a cool gun. If you look up the purpose and the history behind that gun, Mark 12 Mod 0 or whatever mod you want to make. I built mine from Aero Parts, so I'll give you a video on that shortly. Lastly is a 308 designated marksman. So for me, that would be, in a perfect world, an M1A. The problem with M1As is that, in my opinion, it's difficult or a challenge to mount a scope to it. So I kind of look at designated marksman as something with an optic, variable optic, variable zoom, or a 308 AR-10. So Palmetto just had a sale. They have their 308 AR-10 Saber for $1,200. It's very enticing. 16-inch barrel. I like that. Compact. Put a suppressor on it. So number 1 really goes to just any semi-automatic 308. And I don't know that a 308 inside of 100 yards, and there's going to be a lot of debate on this, is any more lethal than a 5.56 inside of 100 yards. But really, when you go past 100 yards, that's when you see the difference in lethality. And that's what I would say, if you can get a 308, and the fact that it takes a normal capacity detachable box mag, that's one of the first things that any new presidency would naturally want to go after. So there's my list. Tell me what you think. Maybe it's dumb, maybe it's retarded, maybe it's awesome. I don't know. It's just my preference. So y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching.